Yes. Yes.
There it is.
Exactly. Right. Practicing my foot sweeps. We have a number of ants.
I think the kids may have had a snack in here.
Yeah. That's how we get ants, people. But hey, we're here, we're live, we're going to do some jiu-jitsu. Yep. You found me on YouTube?
I found you.
Fantastic. Sorry, we didn't get a fancy thumbnail out, so you get Mandy looking at a computer until we can get something creative up later. So we may be coming to the end of our live at the bunker videos here pretty soon. We may be streaming classes from our academy, so we may not have to be in the bunker anymore as of May 26th. That's really, positive news. I hope it can go well. Who knows? I may have to be teaching with a mask on. I don't know. That might be weird for YouTube, but got to do what we got to do. And yeah, I was thinking about going over some arm wrap stuff because we were just covering that. And how much of that stuff have you done so far? I mean, you've done the basic variation, the basic position, but you probably had not seen the arm lock transition or the wrist lock.
No.
So.
Yeah, that was new.
What the heck? Let's cover that stuff real fast. Most people are familiar with the arm wrap position, and if you hear, a happy little 3-year-old in the background, hopefully she doesn't run into the camera because she doesn't have any pants on. It's our feral child. She's running amok outside. So, arm wrap position. I'm going to walk her through it. Actually, we just did some of this stuff with the kids' classes. The arm wrap is one of the best positions for us when we're mounted on somebody as far as control and striking capability, staying safe, all of that. I mean, the arm wrap kind of covers all of it. It's really just one of the best positions we have in jiu-jitsu. And so what it looks like is a lot of times, a lot of times when we push up like this, the most basic thing to do is just deflect the arms. Go ahead, just do the swim. Yeah. The most basic thing to do is just to swim inside of the arms and maintain this mount position. Another basic thing to do is go for an arm lock, but you're giving up the mount position to do that. Sometimes the better option is to force the person to roll over, okay? The best way to do that is the arm wrap. So when I push up, instead of deflecting the arm, she pushes my arm across her body, drops her weight. Now, she's a lot smaller than me, but when she puts all of her weight on my arm, it's pretty stuck. And it gives her enough time to take her right hand and feed it to her left hand here. I'm gonna grab something out of your hair there.
A spider. Lovely.
Yeah, there's a spider in your hair. Got it?
Got it.
It's kind of nuts in here. So anyway, now we have the arm wrap position, okay? And she's using a C grip. Stay away, stay away, stay away.
Zaya, off the map.
All right, sorry. We're gonna get back to that in a second. You guys stay back.
Yeah.
Stay away.
Nope.
All right. So once we get the arm wrap, you've got a lot of options, okay? So let's go right back to that position here like this. She still has her weight down. Now, what she can do now is modify the mount. She's gonna bring the back leg up to behind my head. She brings the knee off the floor, foot up like close to the armpit here. Now, if she wants to force roll me over, she could sit up, push on my elbow and twist and uses her whole body here, okay? Now, to entice me to roll over, right, she can throw some strikes. What I would suggest here, if you decided that you needed to use a strike in this situation, is I would suggest palm strike or elbow, okay? Harder hitting parts of the body, you're less likely to break your hand, okay? With a closed fist hitting the head, like it may seem like natural, but you run the risk of breaking your hand. So I would suggest, especially in a position where I'm not gonna be able to strike her with any effect at all. If she starts throwing some palm strikes, that can be very, very and especially elbows. Like if she drops an elbow down like this, and I would even do it like this, palm out, keep your palm out, and then drop the elbow here like this, okay? Very sharp, hard-hitting part of the body, okay? The 12 to 6 is possible as well, but I think that one probably is a little bit more effective. And so this is a bad situation. I've only got this hand to defend with. At some point, they're not gonna keep taking these blows unless you hold them here. You could squeeze your knees, put the knee down on the floor, and you can squeeze your knees and hold them here. And now it's difficult for me to get away and roll away. Not impossible, but it's much harder, okay? So if you just wanted to hold the person here, I'm not sure you'd really have to hate them or just really, really want to finish the choke, right? Or take the back. But I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is one of Hickson's favorite positions. And in the very famous fight with him on the beach with Hugo Duarte, I said that pretty well, didn't I? You like my pronunciation? I hope Maggie's listening. Hugo Duarte. Anyway, Hugo Duarte. Is that better? More American? Yes. Whatever. That fight on the beach, this is where he finished the fight. In many of his fights, he would use this position, but typically he would transition from here. He never lost his position, really, just transition from here into taking the back and finishing rear naked choke. I believe in one fight, he's transitioned to the arm lock. It's been a while, but we're going to talk about that too. But in that fight, he basically punched him until it was kind of personal. He wanted to make him verbally give up, right? And say the Gracies were best or something like that, right? So there was a little bit of a rivalry there, and that was a little bit more personal. But if you don't have a personal beef with the person and you have complete control, you need to think about why you would want to even strike them in the first place. You know, if I have complete control, can we let go for a second?
Yes,
Sorry.
please.
My shoulders get a little tired, and I'm sure you're getting tired of holding me, and I'm talking down there in this position. But if I have complete control, and maybe I just want to hold the person there, right, till the cops come or whatever, you know, like we're telling the kids, you can hold the person there and just tell them, like, you know, negotiate right there. Like, look, I'm going to hold you till the teacher comes, okay? And then when the teacher shows up, it doesn't look like, yeah, oh, you're beating the kid up. You're just holding them. You're controlling them. So it's the beautiful thing about Jiu-Jitsu is we have a lot of ability to relegate the level of resistance and response that we give, okay? And so we can all think of those scenarios where we have to finish the fight, okay? And so when we have to finish the fight, we have the opportunity, we have the options. Now, let's talk about how we can use some of these situations in just grappling, okay? So arm wrap is still a great position even if you're just not allowed to strike, okay? One thing that we showed the kids today, not just the force roller, most people are familiar with that. We're gonna do a few things a little bit more, maybe a little bit more unorthodox. This one is kind of gnarly. When you come inside, you make a fist. Okay, so you come inside with this arm, you make a fist underneath of this arm, and now you're gonna sit up and straighten. So it's almost like a pretty mean, the action is very similar to she's not coming on the mat, is she? Good. All right, sorry. Very, sorry guys.
Quickly.
No. Oh, you can't be in here.
It's nice.
No snacks in here. That's
It's
how we
nice
get
being
ants.
able to have the barn door open and let some sun in, but that also lets the children in.
With stuff that attracts ants. Okay, so let's go back to that position. It's very the action is very similar to an Ezekiel choke. Sorry for the interruptions. So we're here. She's got the C grip there on the wrist. She slips inside. She makes a fist. So pretty gnarly choke. So it's my wrist going against my neck on this side, her fist on this side. Sit up straight. Yes, good. Now, too many critters in the barn. We're gonna have to do one of those. All right, he's got to go. Get away. Get away. Good. All right. So, let's see. What else did we do? Yes. Okay. The arm lock. So now we transition. We go to a figure four. We put the weight here, chest stays low on the elbow. She loops this arm around the head and then frames against my neck. She's gonna put the weight here and on her foot to pass the left leg over the head. And now she sits back with the arm lock, okay? So that's always an option, especially if the person is trying to resist and turn back towards you. Let's go back there again. Now, another option is to come inside with that figure four, and instead of giving up the mount, you come loop around, and now you pin you pin the elbow against the chest. You still have the figure four, but instead of going for the arm lock, we're going to slide down over the knuckles, and we're going to finish with a wrist lock here. This is what they call the gooseneck. Okay, so the hand comes over top of this line of knuckles here, and that way she has better leverage. And this is held against her chest. It's hard for me to run away in time. So once she keeps that against her chest, she loops it around. Let's do the loop one more time. She keeps the chest heavy. She starts with the figure four here. This figure four alone, loop this around the head and stay there. Okay, now just hold it here. This is hard. I'm trying with all my force. Now you can actually sit up and kind of twist me and kind of use your chest against. There you go. That's it. Good. This is hard for me to resist to get my arm free. Okay, it's a very strong position. Now what she can do is I'm trying to resist. She's going to slide over top of the knuckles. She bends them. Boom. Wrist lock. Now, if you're stuck here, this position sucks. Okay? You could give up the back knot. I don't think that's the best option. Okay, but if you get stuck here, anytime you get stuck here, you resist. See how my leg comes out like this? This gives me a point of leverage to kind of turn into her. So when I feel the resistance, she starts to pull back the other way to kind of drive me over, I go forward a little bit. I give up a little space. I sneak my hand in and I comb my hair to get out of the arm wrap. So let's look at that again. She gets here like this. She's got the arm wrap. She's trying to fight me here. I resist first because what I want is to go a little bit further than her pull. So if I just try to do this and she's going to turn me over. She's going to get the back knot. But if I resist first and then I go, I push the arm away from me a little bit. You can even post you can even post your hand on the floor to keep that arm from going further. I sneak the hand inside and now I'm going to arm wrap. So I need that little bit of resistance here before I can sneak the space, and now I comb the hair to get the arm free. So nice little tip or trick to get yourself out of the arm wrap. That for me has been a lifesaver many times. I do not like getting stuck in that position. It sucks. Yeah, it's not fun at all. So anyway, hope that is a little bit helpful.
Yes, you're right. You're in my spot.
Yes, sorry. I was thinking about that. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for pointing that out, sir. It's much better on this side. So, right on.
No counter for kids.
No counter for kids. No. No crash, just Tommy. We didn't give them the counter yet. You can't give somebody the toy and then break it, right? You gotta let them play with it for a little while, then you break the toy, right? So, typically if I teach an attack, I don't teach the response of the defense to the attack until like maybe the next class or so, or next week. My friend Vince used to have I think it used to call it the 24-hour rule or the 48-hour rule. So if he showed you something, like if he beat you with something, and then he showed you how to defend it, it was to him it was like I think it was the 24 or 48-hour rule. Like you can't use it on me for 48 hours, right? That's the rule. If I show you the answer, you have to respect my 48-hour rule. So yeah. So I've always kind of had that in my mind when I'm teaching. I don't always like teaching the defensive side with the offensive side. Usually, you okay? We got a rollerblader out here who's just wiped out. It's craziness out here. But anyway, trying to think of what else we could do from the arm wrap besides the basic stuff, taking them back. There's not a whole lot you have to do. I can show you one position that's really, I'll be nice. I actually showed it on Zaven, but he's not here right now. Did I show it? I know I showed it in another video at some point.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Can I really?
You're not even going to tell me first?
No, it's not very nice. But going back to that control where we talked about, you can keep them in the arm wrap position, and you can hold them here. You can squeeze your knees. Another thing you can do, this is really gnarly, is take this hand. They're probably going to be defending with this hand. You take this hand, you pin it down. I'm going to do my best. I'm sorry, I've got a little bit more weight than normal. The quarantine 15 is turned into.
Could you just get it over with, please?
Yes, I will. I throw this leg over top of this arm, and I'm going to hold my hand out here so I'm not squishing my lovely wife. But if you hold this position, you sit up, you actually take away their ability to bridge because your posture, you're pulling the head up. Can you bridge your hips? Not very effectively, right? It's not very comfortable. And when you sit back and you hold them here, they have no defense, and they can't. It's very difficult for them to roll over as well. So that's an old school Valley Tudo little variation, and not so nice. That wasn't too bad,
No.
right? I do my best to relegate the level of pressure that I give. So, but Yeah. There we go. Arm wrap. Gotta think. What else have I got? We did the arm lock. Yep. Let's see. Where do I start jiu-jitsu without a gym? Maybe you have any playlists. We do. Let's see. That is a question from Georgie. I'm sorry, I would totally butcher your last name. So Georgie, I will do my best to answer that question. So right now we do have a boatload of techniques up on the YouTube channel, but we are in the process of developing our online curriculum. The stuff we have up on YouTube is kind of scattered. It's all over the place. Most of it is geared towards the individual who's already training jiu-jitsu. And even these online live, these live classes are, sometimes we have a theme, but typically it's geared towards the student that's already training. We do cover some fundamental stuff, but there's also a lot of things that we're putting together. We have a software system now where we can actually have an online curriculum, and that's what we are developing. We're having a curriculum, uploading our fundamentals classes. There's 30 classes that we're going to have uploaded and available for online classes here very soon. And so at first it was just we built them up and videotaped them just so we could have as a reference during the class time on the TVs at the academy. But now, because of the situation with the COVID and all the lockdowns and everything, and really it's kind of pushing us into a fast forward mode to get our online capabilities and curriculum up on the website. So we will have that up on Gracie, Ohio, or at least a way of, we'll have it very soon, as well as other instructional videos, along with what we already have on YouTube. But yeah, we will have that for sale very soon. But there's a lot of options out there. I mean, you can't go wrong with Gracie University. It's very, very well laid out. I think those guys are fantastic, and they've put together a great program. It really heavily influenced our curriculum as well, just how they had it laid out. We knew the techniques. Everything that they showed is very similar to what Helson has already taught us, and the other Gracie family members. But there's certain things that Helson likes to have that a blue belt understand and learn that they don't necessarily require. So there's a slight difference, but the basics are the basics, and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. So so I can't recommend them enough. Their program is awesome, and it's already well established and laid out and very good. So sorry, still getting rid of critters on the mat. Got any other ants that get choked out?
One over there, but
get him!
He's a ways away.
All right. Jimmy, that's an excellent position that I have used a lot prior to prone handcuffing. Awesome. That is a great position. The arm wrap is fantastic, and you can actually transition, especially police officers. You can transition into different types of arm wrap control that force the person into a rollover in a different way. He's already familiar with a lot of those. So,
arm wrap.
St. Augustine, what's up, Louise?
Arm wrap to triangle, fine finishing details. I think that was something we said on Thursday too. We were going to go over.
Arm wrap to arm triangle, fine finishing. There you go. That's a good segue. Let's do that. So here we go. Let's talk about. I didn't write that. That is a good option there. From the arm wrap position, you can get the arm wrap and then turn it, basically force it into an arm triangle. Okay, so what that looks like is, however we've gotten the arm to this position, I come here. I give enough space so my arm can come underneath, and my head has to stay low. Now I can abandon this wrist. I don't need to hold that anymore. Once I have my head on this side, I'm actually grabbing a figure four, okay, like this. If you can't make the figure four, if your partner is too thick, your opponent is too thick, just put your hands together with a gable grip, okay? What's really important here, once we get this across, so let's say I see the opportunity, I'm fighting here, and I slip this arm underneath, I get my shoulder here on this side, I really want to walk this hand in. So if it's hard for me to get my bicep, here, I kind of do this little, what do they call that? Was it the thing from the Addams Family?
Yes.
The little hand? The thing. You got a thing, walk your hand over, okay, to kind of get your bicep nice and tight. Now I get my figure 4, I lift. There's 2 ways of hopping off the side control without getting tangled up in their legs. One is to pop up like this and foot flip and then hop off. The other is to lift up and slide your knee across and then windshield wiper your legs. Either one is fine. What's very important here is that you don't stay super close to their hips because you could possibly get rolled. I have seen a lot of people modify to shut down some of the defenses. They will go with a shallow knee in the belly. One that comes to mind is one of Rafael Lovato Jr.'s early MMA matches. He was able to finish the arm triangle against a fairly experienced grappler with the knee kind of on the hip. And that shuts down some of the escapes, okay? I don't think it's necessary most of the time. What's very important, and I think it does, the higher your body is up against somebody who's much bigger and stronger than you, they have a higher likelihood of being able to roll you over, okay? So the lower you are and you're off to this angle, the better. So once we get off to that angle, the most important thing is to, get out of here. Most important thing is to sink your body weight to the floor. A lot of people, I think most common mistake here is people think that they have to drive this shoulder into the neck. And what happens is they start to push this way. If she frames, look what happens to the opening. It actually allows her to open up her neck, okay? So, watch out, honey. Sorry, here's our rollerblader. So what I actually want to do once I hop off the side control is to sink my weight straight to the floor. And that's going to affect that V of the choke, okay? That's going to really put the pressure here. It's the same concept as when you have the regular triangle in the guard, okay? So just to kind of draw a correlation here, when I have the regular triangle in the guard, I'm pulling my heels down. That's forcing this part of my leg to pull her head down. And what else? We can also pull the head in like this, okay? And that's going to raise my hips up. That takes the V up into the, into the choke, okay? So we change that here with the arm triangle. I don't want to drive over. That's going to open up her neck. I want to sink in. So once I have this, once I've got this, I lock it in, I drop my hips to the floor and just squeeze. So just belly down and give a nice squeeze here, okay? So, yes. If you have the arm triangle and they start to drive that way, you can always switch back to the arm wrap, okay? So if the person they're really strong, they start to open up their neck, you can always switch here and then come back to arm wrap territory. So switching from one to the next gives us a lot of opportunities for attack. So anytime, whether you're in the mount or whether you're in the guard, if you can get those arms off to one side of the body, you're doing good. You have a lot of capability, a lot of attacks can open themselves up. So that's a great principle just to think about. If you are in you always want to control the middle territory, okay? So let's say, for example, in the guard, we tell the kids, this is like a little game we play with the kids, right? For her, good, bad, super bad, right? Because I have so much more access to submissions, the taking the back, you name it. But the same thing applies. Look, if we're fighting in space, the mount is the same as the guard, right? There's no gravity, right? Positionally, it's very similar. It's just that I have gravity in my favor and we have the ground here, okay? But same thing. I want to keep her on the outside. I want to dominate the center. I want the arms doing stuff like this, okay? So if you just focus on that basic principle, you're going to see a lot of opportunities open up, okay? So if your person's really buttoned up, sometimes all you need to do is just pin an arm out to the side. Then they have to respond. Sometimes they'll reach across and try to pull that arm back in. Well, now both arms are on this side. Now we can start chaining attacks together. Americana, arm lock, you name it. So hope all that helps. All right. All right, let's see. Can you just goon it from the mountain without moving to the side? I believe you're talking about the arm triangle, Dave. Can you just goon it from the mountain? I love that term, goon it.
There is a giant spider right there.
Yes.
Yes.
Get him.
Squash him.
Get him. We got to take out the giant spider. Don't worry, he wasn't on the map. Life on the farm. Anyway, yes, you can goon it from the mount. The problem is that if you're a lot smaller than your opponent, your stability is way better in your ability to drop your you can for sure finish the arm triangle. But you stay in the mount, okay? Arm triangle me. Yep, under, before, yep, good. Okay, good. Now, go ahead and try to finish the arm triangle, go. Okay, now you can even put your hooks in if you want, okay? Now, she doesn't quite have the angle. Drop your body back a little bit more. Good, head tight. It's harder for her to stop this, okay? You feel that, okay? And this is part of the defense. And if we have time, maybe we can go through that. But if I have a frame and I'm trying to open my neck up like this, it's harder for her to stop. And it's easy. Go ahead, hold your position, okay? Go ahead, squeeze. Go for it. Yep, good. And it's easier for me to roll her. And now it's very difficult to do it from the. So I would not suggest it. It's one of the few times where I would say we want to take a step off, down the positional hierarchy. So if mount is here and side body's here, we're only taking a step down in the positional hierarchy because we know we have the submission to finish. And, you know, for them to defend after that, a lot of times what's going to happen is they'll open up arm wrap again and back mount. So I don't really see that as going down in the positional hierarchy, especially if we consider, you know, submission being the ultimate. So that's what I would suggest. I think you definitely can finish it, but I wouldn't. You're way better off utilizing the angles that you get when you hop off side control, and the pressure is just a lot more precise and better. And it's hard for the person to defend. So, how we doing? Any questions? Good to see you, Zager. Thanks for joining us. All right. Splat, spider guard, absolutely, yes. We crushed it.
Waving at everybody.
Saying hi to the people in the YouTube and Facebook world. What time we got?
You're at 12:30.
Man, we're almost, we might have to cut it off. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and throw them out there, but I think we'll try to cut it off at a half hour, maybe 35 minutes. So, you know, I talk too much. Sorry about the last one. We can just forget number 25. I just rambled. I think I answered a question for 15 minutes.
That wasn't the
And
actual
it wasn't the actual question. So, sorry about that. And, yeah. Let's call it, unless you have any questions. You good?
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Come back Tuesday. We'll still be here. Like I said, at some point we may not have to be in the bunker anymore, but these have been really fun. I can't believe we're at number 26. Holy smokes. Covered a lot of jiu-jitsu, so thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope everybody's staying healthy and safe, and yeah, hopefully we'll get back on the mat soon, and you guys can see us from there. So take care. YouTube and Facebook world. We'll see you all Tuesday.